And you thought about me when you were there. So I'm just as happy with a snack and a drink as I am with, well, maybe not diamond rings, but, you get the picture, right? Like, Steve will he'll say, hey, I stopped and got you a drink on the way to work. Oh my gosh, he loved me, he thought of me when he wasn't with me, and he bought me a gift.
We had friends, and he would buy her, like, really high-end gifts, like horses.
Like
and
racehorses.
And diamond rings. And
4 carats.
Like the stuff from movies.
Yes.
And the thing about being able to buy that kind of gift is you have to work really hard to make the money to pay for that kind of stuff. So he was at work a lot, and she would get this great thing and think, gosh, I wish he was home before 9 o'clock at night to be with me. And he was loving her with gifts, and she was starved for quality time.
Yeah, and they were ready to get a divorce, and I'm like, can I marry 4-carat diamond rings, racehorses? I'm down for that, right? But he was just loving her ineffectively. And she just wanted to sit on the couch and watch a movie with him. She just wanted to hang out with him, have dinner, and talk to him. So recognizing that's the importance of love languages. So we've done gifts, words of affirmation, quality time. The next one is acts of service. I'm going to serve you in some way.
This is Melissa's number 2, and I work really hard to do things like the laundry. And she'll tell you, you know what? That's great, but everybody needs clothes. So why don't you do something like clean the garage? That is a really big act of service. And here's the thing. The first time I took that advice and cleaned the garage, I got to hear about how great her clean garage was.
For months.
Yes. And it was like, points today, points tomorrow, points next week. I'm down for that.
There is nothing I get more excited about than Steve pumping my gas. Girls hate pumping gas because it could slosh on your feet and it stinks. So I have a husband who loves me effectively, and I don't try not to do it very often, but I could pull into the garage and say, babe, my car is out of gas, and he would be happy to go get gas in my car for me. And he would do it lovingly, and he wouldn't be mad about it. But because not all acts of service pay the same amount of bang for the buck, like we want to love smarter, not harder, so it's learning those things, the acts of service. The final one is physical touch. If you are married to a physical touch person, physical touch is free, F-R-E-E, free and available all the time. Physical touch to me, it's funny because it's not either one of our primary love languages, but it is the easiest one. All you have to do is pat them on the shoulder when you go by. You got to tap them on the leg, give them a kiss, give them a hug, do whatever. Snuggle with them on the couch, sleep with them snuggled up to you in bed, and things like that. And all of a sudden, their tank is feeling really full, right? So let's talk about the individual love languages separately. Knowing your spouse's love language matters. Speaking their love language, in spite of the fact that it's probably a foreign language to you, matters. I don't care about words of affirmation hardly at all. When Stephen and I first got married, I would get 15 text messages a day telling me how great I was, to which I went, okay, whatever. And I wasn't being rude, it just didn't move the needle for me whatsoever.
Okay.
And I remember one day the Holy Spirit said, he would like to have something back. And I went, y'all, this is true. This is honest truth. The text message that Holy Spirit responded that to was, Steve sent me a text message that said, you're the Dipsy in my doodle. Like, the words of affirmation person just fell out right there. They were slain in the Spirit in that moment. And I am like, what do you respond to, you're the Dipsy in my doodle? Thanks, babe. Like,
you respond, you're better than a chocolate snowflake melting on my tongue. See how easy that was?
And I'm like, I got nothing. Like, God, I got nothing.
We had a little chocolate talk in the break.
I got nothing for that. And so I purposed to learn to speak Steve's language. And so I did what all smart women do. I Googled nice things to say to your husband, and I typed them in my phone. And then I got like 3 friends, and I'm like, tell me some things that would just make your heart happy if your husband or your wife said them to you. And I typed them in my phone. And then I set myself a reminder to send them out throughout the day. Now, y'all are laughing because you're like, well, that doesn't sound very heartfelt. You were like Google and your friends, and I'm like, you know what? I got bonus points because Steve knew I was working hard to learn a language I was not good at.
We had covered this base early in our relationship because she had sent me the book and said, before I meet you in person, I want you to have read this. And as she was coming down the escalator at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, I was feverishly trying to finish the last chapter so I could have it done. And you know what? We talk about it,
Yeah.
you know? And here's the thing. She's a gifts person. I said to her one day, hey, I know I've dropped the ball on this gift thing, but I feel like there's only so many times I can buy you flowers. There's only so many times I can buy you chocolates. I never know if there's a change in our food plan, so if I buy you sweets, it's something that you aren't going to eat, so help me out. The last couple times I bought you clothes, it just meant you had another trip to the store to return them to get something you liked better. You know, and she said, okay, jewelry is always good. Okay, I can do that.
I don't need I don't need a 4 dozen bouquet of roses. 1 rose works for me. Picking me a flower off the sidewalk and bringing it to me works for me. And so learning that language, our first fight was over my wedding gift for him. We had not had a fight all the time we were dating and all of that stuff. And the night before our wedding, a gifts person had thought long and hard about the perfect gift to give her husband, who, by the way, didn't know you were supposed to give a wedding gift, so I didn't even get one. And
I thought that was for the people you invited to the wedding to give gifts to you.
so there was that. And I gave it to him, and you know what he said? Thank you.
My mom taught me that you say thank you when somebody gives you a gift.
Not if you're married to a gifts person.
What she wanted was, oh, that's so great, that's the best gift ever.
Right. And I got my feelings hurt because I felt rejected because his only response to my very well thought out gift was thank you. And he had to learn to receive gifts. He had to learn to receive them in a way that says, my wife is giving me this because she loves me. He didn't receive gifts and say, hey, oh my gosh, I went shopping today and I found you this really cool pair of shoes. I found you these great new tennis shoes. He has replied in the past, I already got tennis shoes. You know,
Bad answer.
that was not a good answer.
Bad answer.
Right? But, so learning to speak their language matters. Love smarter, not harder. If you are a quality time, Steve's quality time love language is amazing. And you know what he loves? Road trips in the car. I am in the car. It's just me and him. We will make up a place to go so we can spend quality time together.
I will just Google best cheesecake in Oklahoma. And then we'll drive to wherever the best cheesecake is. Because who doesn't like cheesecake?
And here's the thing, another thing about it. Not only there are tank fillers in love languages, there are tank siphoners. Okay? If you are married to a words of affirmation person and you criticize, complain,
Are hyper negative?
are hypercritical, you are not only not putting gas in their tank, you are sucking gas out. If you are married to a gifts person and you don't enthusiastically receive their gift, you're not only not putting gas in, you're sucking gas out. And so having those conversations with your spouse about what works and what is the needle mover. You're going to hear us say all the time, does that move the needle for you? Pumping gas is a needle mover for me. Bringing me a little something sweet and something to drink is a needle mover for me. Doing laundry is fine, but it doesn't move the needle a lot.
It's better than no gas, but it's not the high octane stuff.
Right. So on Gary Chapman's ministry has an app. And we want to encourage everybody, if you have your phone with you and you can, download an app called Love Nudge. And if you want to do it right now, and you can download the app right now, What happens when you download the Love Nudge app, each of you will download it on your phone. The first thing it will do was have you take the 5 love languages test. It takes about like 5 minutes. And you just quickly answer some questions. Don't get all the contemplators in here. Don't overthink it. Just answer the questions, this, yes, this. If you don't have an answer that works, pick the best one of the 2 bad ones or whatever. And then it'll score you on your love languages. So you'll know, maybe you have taken the love language test, but it was 15 years ago. You may have changed. Listen, you may have started with a physical touch love language, but if you're a mom of small children who never stop touching you, pretty soon physical touch loses its appeal.